Alright, good evening everyone. So, let's get things started tonight. Hope everyone's having a great Friday evening. So, yeah, so it'd be a good time just to have a bit of a chill stream. Let's have a look at some OpenAI. And what I'm going to try and do tonight is I'm actually going to try and get a .NET application to talk to OpenAI, and then try and work out what kind of messages you can send and how much they actually cost you. I know there's the pricing model that says it's X cents per 1,000 tokens, but it'd be good to actually get an idea of what does 1,000 tokens look like, what kind of messages can you send as a bulk. And then comparing the different models that you have access to on the OpenAI Azure service, and seeing what the differences there are and what differences there are in responses. So I think first things first we're going to do is we're going to get set up with a dev container. So I've got just a folder on my local machine here. So let's go here and do dev containers, reopen in container. So I'm going to want a .NET container, so it'll be a C# container. Don't think we'll need a database for this, so that's fine. We'll do .NET 7, yep, 7 seems fine, and then we're going to want the Azure CLI installed as well. That should be fine. And then we'll just keep defaults. Cool. Alrighty, my cats have decided that now is playtime as well, so if you hear a bit of noise in the background, that's just my cats deciding to run around. Okay, so while that's going, so you can see over here I've already got a OpenAI test environment set up in Azure, so this is just deployed into Azure as a service, and we will be accessing this through essentially using the Azure credentials from the Azure CLI, so that we don't have to kind of open up and expose any credentials to do the initial connection here. So I'll put some doc into the chat. So this is kind of what I'm using. So here's a good article just on the introduction of how to get started. And then this is the actual package that I'll be using to connect to OpenAI. As we go, I will set this up as a GitHub repository once we get some code running, and be able to share that with everyone as well. Alright, our dev container is there and set up. Alrighty, so yep, nice and empty dev container. Nothing here particularly, so let's start with a .NET new console. So we're just going to do a console app, nice and simple, nothing too fancy here. And we'll name this ChatGPT measure. So we're going to measure kind of what the tokens look like, and we actually might even ask it to give us a message which is 1,000 tokens and kind of generate some stuff there. There we go. So we've got our console app here, and that's all good. Alrighty, so yep, you can build those, that's fine. And what we'll do here, just while we start, we'll do an init for Git. Let's set this branch, just because I haven't set this before, and we're going to call that main. That's already knitted. Actually, I think I just knitted that in the wrong directory. Yeah, it's the directory above. Didn't actually want to do it there, but oh well, that'll be fine. We can just load all of these experiments we're going to do into the one repo and treat it as a mono repo. That's fine. So Actually, what we'll do here is we'll do git add. That's a new one from Git. Dubious ownership of repository. Don't think I've seen that one before. Alright, well let's add it into the repo. Let's say that it's a safe repository. That's fine. Not sure why that's must be, so it decided it's going to call it master. Let's get that changed. So if we go git checkout main, that's fine, and then git add, and then we commit, which is our initial commit. Cool. Alrighty. Just notice we didn't put an ignore file. Let's quickly get that going. So we'll git ignore. So that's fine. And then we sync that again, place that in that base directory. That's fine. All the stuff we'll be doing, it'll be .NET anyway. Ignore file. Alrighty. So that ignore file's in, so that's good. Alright. Let's get it here. Be sure our compiler's all running, and it is. One thing I'm forgetting. Copilot. Let's get Copilot up in here. There we go. Copilot's installing. Get all of the AI services involved here. Alright. Is there anything else that I need that I've got installed? No, I don't need extension. I'm not going to need any of that stuff. Nope, that should be all good. Great. And while I'm doing this also, let's do an easy login. That just bounced over to my other screen, which is good. Let's get that login authorized. Right, we are go. Alright, so we've got our basic console app here with Hello World. We're logged into the Azure CLI. So let's get this package added. Just going to copy and paste that in here, add that package in. The other thing we'll need to do is we'll need to add in the identity package as well, which I think is .NET package identity. I think that's the one. No, it's not Microsoft Identity. What is it? What is the library called? I'm just blanking on that at the moment. Package. Identity client. Shouldn't be there. No, it's Azure.identity. Okay, yeah. So we're using Azure, so it's not Microsoft, it's Azure Identity. There we go. So that Azure Identity package is going to allow us to connect in using the default Azure credentials, which will use the credentials that our CLI is using. So we're not going to need to expose any keys or have any keys within our project at all, just for doing this testing. If we were to be running this from, say, a container up in the cloud, then we'd mostly give the identity to the container running the application rather than, again, storing keys and things like that. Alright, cool. Alright, you knows. So, let's do some pretty simple stuff here. We're just going to start, say, string initial message, and we'll say hello. Yeah, I'll just say GPT. Let's do 3.5. Let's say hello chat GPT 3.5. How is your cool? All right. So, and that's going to say it's signed and never used and complain, but that's fine. We'll use it in a sec. Now what we're going to do is we'll do an OpenAI client equal to E. So, of course, we're going to get an issue to start with. It's going to say that's not named, and that's going to be because we're not doing using. Like, we could do a global using. I'm just going to do it in the file for the moment. And now it's going to be now it's complaining, it doesn't like that. Now this could be because our IntelliSense could be looking at the wrong project, so is that what I want? Which one is it? Yeah, I need to set this so that we're actually looking at the correct project. That's language mode. OmniSharp, that's what I want. OmniSharp, not IntelliSense. And we're going to select project, and then we're going to select this project. So let's just let OmniSharp restart. And this is going to make sure that it has the context of our project and what we're doing there. Right. Now, do we need? Yeah, no, it's registered now. All right. Client use Azure OpenAI. And so I'm just going from the kind of text on the side here that's being used as the example. So this one here. So we will need a string endpoint. That just put this in for the moment, but we'll add our one in a minute. All right. So and we don't actually. So let's go. Just do client is equal to the new AI client. The URI is our endpoint. And then we're going to go new default. So I'll go like this for a second. Alright. And let's get a complaint because we don't have identity added. And I need a couple of method call. There we go. So now, once I get the correct endpoint, which we come back here, this is my endpoint here. There we go, that's the endpoint I'll be using. That's the client connection. Go back here. Alright. So let's go, we want a response. Completions. And wait. So response equal to wait client dot get completion and say sync. Make that an asynchronous call. And we're going to say alright. Now we need to go look at what models we have deployed inside the service, which I believe I have deployed. I've got 3 models here, so I've got GPT 3.5 Turbo, so that's what we would call as GPT 3.5. We've got GPT 4, so which is the Text DaVinci 003 model, and I also have an embedding done one here, which so this is where you would supply it with information, and it would embed that information to then be referenced. So that's all that embedding kind of cool stuff, which we'll see if we get around to. We might get around to showing off how you can embed data and then use that to be referenced by another model, but we'll just stick with the simple one first. So let's go with GPT 3-5DM. That's the name I've given the model. Oops. And then into initial message. And now it doesn't like this because it's not the same response type here as I was going for. Now it's interesting, it doesn't actually like that as an object. I wonder why. Is there a quick fix? Azure, there we go, that's a quick fix. So response is obviously an A-base Azure class. And what we got here? Get completions async. So we're sending it a string, and then it wants some chat completion options. Well, that's not what we're sending you. So I think I'm calling get chat completions, or at the moment I just want to call get completions. Alrighty. So then sure, so what we'll do then is we'll just do a console.writeLine, and then we'll just go response.toString. So we're just gonna print the response that we get out straight away. Oops, wrong button. Cool, alright, well let's try just make sure this builds. I don't see why it wouldn't. Yep, all good. And let's just run and let's just see what happens, eh? Alright, could it all explode? Don't know. Alright, we have an error. Does not match the reason. Okay, I see what's going on there. So I'm logged in to the account that's mostly tied to my Visual Studio account, which has some credit on it, whereas I should be tied into my main subscription here. So let me just get a quick list of the subscription. Actually, I'm logged into the complete wrong subscription. The complete wrong account. So let's try that one again entirely. Eh? Always helps if you log into the correct account when you are trying to do things. Alright, that one requires 2FA, so let me quickly get that 2FA sorted out. Wrong 2FA app. Again, fun games of having multiple 2FA apps. Alrighty. Okay, that looks better. Much better. Alrighty. So, now we should be in the right tenant to get access. So if we do .net run, see what we get this time. Nope, still getting an error. What error are we getting now? Principal does not have access to the OpenAPI operation, permission denied. Okay, that's fine. So what we mostly need to do is do a role assignment here. Let's have a quick squiz. I mostly don't have direct access. Alright, that's fine. Let's add a role assignment for me. Let's give me a contributor. That should be fine. And then let's add me this one. that's me. Alrighty. View add assign. View add assign. Now that should be all I need. Let's try that again. Nope, still getting principal does not have access to API operation. Let's have a quick look. Do I need to do anything special here to give myself permissions? Just having a quick squiz here. What's the most API samples? So are they going to tell me what I need to do to get the permissions? So what I mostly don't have is the correct permission inside Azure, which is fine. We're just going to see what permissions I need to give. Seeing anything here. Let's have a quick look. So I've got identity here for system assigned. Let's turn on a system assigned identity because that'll give the service itself the principal, which is fine. I don't want to do anything with the keys because again I'm trying to stay away from having any keys. Oops, I haven't saved that. Oh, it's still doing its thing. Is there anything in here which tells me to look at this quick start? Well, that's quick start on how to use it in the browser, which is not quite what we want to do. Let's see. And this is doing it with Python. So this is how you deploy the model. I should have access. Still the same, doing the let's try just sticking this into Google itself as well. What does Microsoft Learn tell us about this error? Solid text. No, not quite what I want. Well, let's add in OpenAI service to the end there. Let's see. Here we go. There's a role here, Cognitive Services OpenAI Contributor. Let's go see if I can assign that. Let's just bounce out of that, it's fine. Let's go add a role and then there we go, there's all the Cognitive Services roles. So let's add for that role. See, user group of service principal, select a member, and then we put my name in. There I am. Let's give me that role. it's still doing that. Let's view my access here. Alright, so I have the cognitive services contributor here now. So let's try that again and see if the error changes. Still do not have access to API operation. May take a minute for that to update. While it's doing that, let's have a look. No elevator permission, that's fine. Let's go have a look if there's any other specific, like an AI, like a API role or something. Because I've got that role. No, nothing else there that's jumping out at me. Alright, we've given it a role. Maybe a log in, log out. Alright, let's log back here. Let's try that one again. Nope, still nothing. Let's make sure it's not a issue with the ID. I'll grab this ID here. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. I want to grab this ID here. That's the command I need, so that sets that account. Just make sure I've got the right count listed there. No, still nothing. Well, let's go back to the model and deployment. Let's try the OpenAPI or the OpenAI Studio. See if that helps us at all. Maybe later on that feedback. Alright. Let's have a look at the models here. Okay. Okay, principal does not have access to API or operation. Very, very strange. See if there's any. Let's see if it completes. Oh. See if I have access to the chat. Let me say. Good. Actually, that's the wrong thing. What they had there to start with was correct. The system message is how we want it to be behaving. So let's undo that. So we want to use. There we go. Let's continue. Nope, I still have principles of access. Let's try only one deployment that I can use there. Alright, I think maybe what we need to do is redeploy the models. Which that's fine. Can we do that from here? I think the answer maybe no, but we should be able to do it from here. So let's clear out all these models, just in case. No, it doesn't like that at all. All right, let's go back. I think that's because I put a service principal on it. Alright, let's go and clear that out. So let's turn that off. I didn't like that. Cannot modify ID as a resource entity. Bring state is not terminal. Please work for positioning state. So it's still provisioning. Alright. Can I get rid of a model from here? No, still wants me to wait for that other. Still wants to wait for that. Okay. That's interesting. So what I might need to do here is use the key for the endpoint. So what I will do is I'm going to quickly bounce this off screen for a sec, and I'll set up a local .NET secret. So what I'll be using to do this is user secrets. I don't know if this will work with the console app, but we can find out. Yep, that's fine, that will work. And then what we're going to do is we'll do say .NET user secrets set, and then we're going to call this OpenAI, and we'll call it endpoint key. And then I will go and put the key in. So I'll just drag this off for a minute. And I'll just drag this one off as well while I do it, so we don't accidentally leak any keys or anything, because that would be bad. So here's an endpoint. Nope, apparently it's regenerating all the keys in endpoint. So that's not particularly useful for us. So let's just wait for that to resolve itself. It's a bit annoying. So, yeah, not sure how long that's going to take to resolve itself though. That could be a bit of a derail for the moment. Okay, so the identity is still on. Alright, we're just gonna have to wait for that to do its thing. While we wait, what else can we do? Just quickly check the socials, make sure that my stream announcement went out, which it looks like it did, which is all good. If anyone watching has any questions about OpenAI, DevOps, cloud, feel free to ask them. things while we wait. Alright. So we'll go back here and see again. We delete. He's still failing. Wonder if I can find out how that's being provisioned. Okay. Maybe in the activity log. You can see I've got all sorts of failures here. And status has started the roles I've created. So let's let's see, how long does this take? So apparently 30 seconds. That's been a bit longer than 30 seconds, but that's okay. Still, it's been 11 minutes. There we go. Alright. Of course, now that we've done that, let's try and create a new one. We'll call it GPT-3.5. Just gonna use this model 3.1. Now, this could all just be because I was impatient. But we will. Alright. So that's deployed. So let's just. We're using the completions endpoint too. So I'm not sure how it's going to complete this message, but we'll find out. Let's just do a .NET build. And then we'll. Here we go. And error. No, principal still does not have access to API or operation. Let's try. Try chat completion. See if that's a bit different. And what does chat completion want? It wants the model name. Let's try GPT-4 DM. What does this want? And we're not doing it async. Messages. How do I? Question. How do I use you? Let's see if it's in the documentation. So this phone is buzzing. That's fine. So this is how we do the prompts. Apparently it was fine. It was the right way to do the completions. Let's just undo all of that and go back to what we were doing. Alright, didn't like that. Let's just keep hitting the wrong keys. That's what happens when you keep bouncing between a Mac and a Windows machine. No, still does not have access. Very odd. Let's check what this says here. That's for a Python application. That doesn't particularly help us. As we have here, so we got the get chat completions and wants a deployment or model name. So we're giving it the model deployment name. Let's try that one again. No, it's still hitting the error. Does not have access to API or operation. And we'll just check and view my access. So I've got the cognitive services contributor and I have contributor. Should not need any further Let's just pop in the error message to here. Open a couple of nothing particularly there. That's operation supported. It's not quite looking for. Not quite getting looking for here. Let's try Google rather than Bing. See if that's any better. Stop calling it OpenAI may help here too. That's again, that's not after. Well, what we'll also do while we do this, let's go and bounce that identity off in case that's causing us some grief. What's this? Okay, so we'll look at what they say on this one. Azure OpenAPI. That's different to what we're being told in here. Got that installed. It's giving me a 1.1.0-beta.5. Let's grab this just in case there's an update to that library. Yeah, it looks like it's still the same version. You might need to use a resource key here, which I really don't want to use if I can avoid it. It should just be to that client with the URI, which is correct, and the default credentials. And still getting that. Well, let's attempt this. Let's comment this out for a minute. And we'll go and grab our endpoint. Let's just see if the way I'm calling it is what's incorrect. Yeah, and we got a principal does not have access to API or operation. Troubleshooting. There'll be again. This will be some old one, I think. Telling me cognitive services user roles required. Okay, let's go. I'm still waiting for that to disable. So what I'll do, we'll go in, we'll add. I can add that role. I'll leave this one open. Add a role. Let's see. Cog. Server. There's a contributor. So there's a user role as well. Let's add me to it. And see if that makes any difference. Alright. Check my access. So we have to use a role now. Nope, still bonk. Does not have access. Just run it again just in case it takes a minute. access. We'll just try in oops. Did change. Let me try build. No, still getting the permission denied. Very odd. Just stick this in Google, see if it comes up with anything. Nothing particularly. There's a principal. I've read this one before. Same error. Let's just check. We should have that enabled. Let's go check in the playground again. Let that do its thing. Don't want to interrupt that. Let's go to the Azure playground again. Okay. Should be alright. Let's just see this, see if this works. Alright, so this is working. So that worked there. And that was with 3.5 or 3-5. Oop, there we go. So I think that might have been related to managed identity, or I've just been too impatient and it's been taking its time. Okay, so now then, if I went there out and let's leave this one in. Now that should kind of do the same thing. Alright, cool. I mean, that's not super useful because we didn't get the correct method, but now we know a bit more about the value choices. So that's the choice text. So if we do that now, we should see the actual response. Well, that's interesting. Our name WebSockets was not defined. That's an interesting error. It's not even an error. That's just... Why did it do that? Okay, how about we go... Let's put a bit more... Look into this a bit more. So value is an object. And let's say... So what have we got here? Choices. There's an array. Let's ask for the count. See how many choices are returned. And then we'll do just iterate over them. And then and we'll just write out the text that comes with it. Alright, let's see what that gives us. Okay. How are we getting back from that? Alright, let me just do the get completions here without the async and see if that's giving us something funny. So that gives us plot name, our prompt, and then we only had one there. Alright, now we have something that actually seems to be responding to what we asked. It's funny that the async one didn't respond quite. Yeah, I wonder what's happening there. That's a bit odd. Alright, well let's stick with this one for the moment. Again, I still don't know what this extra stuff it seems to be getting is. So let's... Only seems to be responding with one. So if we go... Alright, we're going to change our message to let's see if it understands what I'm asking here. That's not a response that I'm expecting here. Let's try a different model. Let's try the GPT-4 model. See if that gives us a different kind of response. There we go. That's a response. Alright, there we go. That's a response message with 1,000 tokens. Intended to be. Let's give it a bit more of a context of what we're doing. I'm not sure if 1,000 tokens is $20. That seems a bit large. Okay. But it's funny that, yeah, if we go back to Text DaVinci 00, also GPT 3.5 Turbo, it was giving us all sorts of weird completions. Yeah, that's really strange. That it's kind of just providing almost garbage text out. Alright. So now what we should do, I reckon, is, so we're going to switch to using 4. Let's see. We want to provide like a decent kind of sample of text to really get a good idea how much. So we got 1,000 tokens. We got a message earlier of this is a response message with 1,000 tokens. So which I guess is this one is 1,000 tokens. So let's just save that off to the side, or let's actually save it in here. Tokens. So that is 1,000 tokens, which is what? How many characters? Over 228 characters, roughly 1,000 tokens. Doesn't seem like a lot. Alrighty, let's try and find some bigger text. What can we use? Also clean this up. Let's search for something. Let's search for public domain short stories. So we don't want it to be too long because we don't want to have a massive amount. This looks a bit dodgy. Some of these are a bit long for what I want. Alright. Let's, okay, no, I've got a better idea. Let's do just go to the documentation. let's see. If I give it a website and I scrape, so I ask it to read this web page and then come up with, yeah, that's good. Okay, how would I go about doing that? So how would we go about reading a website? Just want something nice and simple. I mean, it might be just literally pulling down a response. Something like that. Just use a HTTP client. Yeah, I guess we'll try that. So let's do that. Let's go. Alright, let's grab a client. And I'm going to string website data. And we'll say website data to wait client.get string async, and then we will have a website. Now we're going to get a whole heap of extra garbage here, so may want to find a better way of just reading the text. Do want to try and just convert it straight to text without all the HTML, but could that be asking it a bit much? Maybe. Let's try and just give it, let's see what it does. See if it's able to parse it or not. Put that in a quote. Doesn't like client because I've already used client. That's fair enough. Let's call it web client. Actually, let's put that outside into the actual variables that we named for it. May help. All right. So we have the website data here, and then what we want to ask it to do is provide a summary of the following website. Now, we'll go into completions here. I don't think completions is the right one that we want to actually call here. I think there was an actual summarized text. Not a summarized text with completions. No, it's still the same thing. And it says summarize the following text. Okay, so we say summarize the following text. And then we'll put a break. Break, double break there, and then say text, break, and then we'll put the ending like that. I'll put a terminator there. And what we want to do is we want initial message plus website data plus end message. So what we're asking it to do here is we're saying please provide a summary of the following website, and then we're providing it as text, and then summary. Doesn't like that, that's fine. Alright. Build. Now we're calling the so that's calling GPT-4. So we just do a .NET run. And it didn't like something. Aha. So hit a maximum length of tokens. So that was saying that was 4,097 tokens. I'm pretty sure we can do more tokens than that. But it may be inside, like I might need to do something with some options. Yes, no. Nope. What's my other completions options? Okay, let's get completions options, and we will put that in there. No, I think it wants the options first and then the message. No? What's going on there? Deployment name, completion options. I think this is inside the options. I think we have got options and alright, so add that there. Max tokens. This is just an equals. Is that going to work? Let's find out if that works. I'm pretty sure we can do that many tokens. No, rejected. No, it's still too many tokens. Okay. Now this is because what we've downloaded is the HTML and it's obviously huge. So what we need to do is strip out the text. Text from website. Alright, so we're going to be a bit smarter about this. How do we want to do this? Let's have a look. See, there's an option here. HTML agility pack, is this still a thing? Apparently that's still a thing. Alright, let's add that in. We're doing packages, that one. See if that's, yeah, apparently still a thing, still works, that's good. Alright. So we've got the website data here. document. Now I'm going to need to add in, oops, is that it? Half. Is it half? It'd be nice if it told us what the import is for, like the using is for it, because I don't know. There's any documentation. Okay. HTML web. Again. What is your namespace? Check some online examples. This is your using, but you didn't like it. Why don't you like it? Why? You're telling me that is your... you're telling me you don't work. Alrighty. Oh, that one doesn't work. That's okay. Let's find a library that does, hey? Let's go clear that out. So, alright. Okay, let's now say do HTML document. Because they returned the same one again, and it didn't work last time. It's saying it should. Saying it should work, but again, I did not have any confidence in it, 'cause it did not provide me with good documentation. What's this? Don't think that's doing what I need to do either. Alright. didn't realize this one was going to be problematic. I guess the other thing we could do here, just to simplify what we're doing. Alright, where's the doc? Let's just copy this text tag. So let's go copy. Let's start a file. Let's say documentation.txt. There we go. I have parsed it into text. Sure. Let's see. Well, let's get rid of all that. I'm gonna want to use system.io. Text and just gonna give it that document, and then we're going to date there. That doesn't like me doing that. It's fine. So it does open reads, closes. Important that it closes. Alrighty. Okay, didn't like something. What did it not like? Alright, didn't like something in the max tokens. Let's see if I can just give it this, because it says that we've sent it 3,932 in the prompt. That's a very short completion. Let's see how many choices there were. It's only one. That's funny. Why is it only giving us? I'm asking to summarize. So okay. How about we actually write out what we're sending it. So we get an idea of how much we're actually sending. Now, I wonder if that's because we're limited on the tokens. Max tokens here. Let's say 8,000. So that should give it more tokens that it should be able to respond with. And it's saying no, it doesn't like that. So it still only wants 8,000 tokens. So this is part of the problem, is if we don't know how many tokens we're sending it, how can we know what our max allowance is here? Let's clear some of this away now that we've got at least access back. Maybe we should try a streaming check completion. Could also be we're not calling async and we're not actually giving it enough time to respond. So let's maybe do that. Let's start with async. See if I haven't given, well, no. Not just I haven't given enough time, it still doesn't. So still saying there's a max of 8,000 tokens and it doesn't like that there. Okay, let's try the streaming one. So we now want to change this to streaming chat completions, and then we have the client get chat completion streaming async. Okay, so your deployment model name is 3t4-dm, and then we want chat completion options. So we're going to change this to chat completion options, and then we change this to messages equals chat message and dot user, and then we'll pump in this one here. Not quite like that. So can I do an add? I can. Alright. I'm gonna move the max here. Alright, so that's the messages which is part of the chat completion. Cool. So if we then do options here, that should be fine. Okay, and then we would say using, so we're gonna use a streaming chat completions value. Okay, and then we await for each streaming chat choice in streaming chat completions .get. Okay, and then for each chat message choice.get messages streaming content. No, not that. Message content. Alright. And then for each line we do a console.writeLine to give us a line break. Alright. Build to make sure there's no compilation errors. Yep, we're good. And run. Alright, so we've sent through our request and it has chat completion does not work with this model. Alright, well, let's deploy a model it does work with, hey? So DaVinci 3 there. It should work with DaVinci 3. Why would you not? Why would you not work with that one? Alright, let's try the 3-5 again. There we go. Alrighty, well that works. Give us the summary there of the documentation. But why does to 4 doesn't work with summaries or chat? This one says it's good for summarization, so let's try this one. Let's deploy this and see what it gets. Now, the other thing I'm going to be doing here at some point is, mostly not tonight, but mostly during the week next week, I'll start pulling apart timeframes and trying to work out how much each one cost to run. Cost by resource, and this will try and tell us how much each of these models going through. Yeah, this is still the other stuff I was doing previously, which came to a whole 65 cents, but that's okay. Alright, so let's try now. Go to chat GPT DM. Okay. Nope, didn't like that. Did I spell something wrong? Chat GPT-4-DM. 5 minutes. Create in the last 5 minutes there, and that does exist. Alright, fair enough. Alrighty, so we'll just give it a minute. Let's see if what we might do after this is so the project I was trying to do previously, where I was going to create a maze and see if we could get the AI to run a maze. We might pick that up again now that we've got access to the API, so OpenAI's API that we can actually connect to, query, send these requests to. So then we can send these through and see if it will do things. Alrighty. And then if we get that running, we will be able to set that up and put that into the GitHub repository as well. Okay. So that's fine. I wonder if I can get it to tell me how many tokens it sent. Let's gonna get the streaming. No, it's not telling me that. Because it would be good to know how many tokens it's actually using. Alright, while I wait for that to come back, I might take a quick break. And then when we come back, we will attempt to get a summary from this model and see if that works. Right, back in a bit. Alright, and we're back. Let's head back into things. Alright, so let's see if that has deployed now. Let's see if we can get anywhere. Error. And saying check complete does not work with this model. Well, let's give us a bit of a link here. So let's have a look at okay, so we're doing models available. Alright. Yeah, not seeing model capabilities. So I've got DaVinci there, but it's not working. These are apparently still GPT-3 models for text DaVinci 3. I'm calling it 4. It's not really 4, is it? That's right. See if I can do it through here. Yeah, it works through here. So why can't I call it through here? Check completion operation does not work with the specified model. That's text DaVinci 002. And then if I switch it to this one, I reckon I'll get the same error. Oh, application deployment does not exist. Did I call it the wrong thing? GPT-4. I don't think it's actually 4. That's right. So this does not work with specified model. Well, let's try. Well, we tried it with this one. It didn't like it. It said that we had too much. In the way of. So if we go back to trying it that way, so this is just completions. Okay, we get completions. Try not for async, just get completions. Get completions. And then this needs to be just completion options. Prompts. Add, and we're just adding the pure text. Okay. Don't need that. Don't need that. Summarization plot. To say of the following. response. Sorry, string completion. Response dots choices 0 text and do console right line. Right, everything should be in line there. Okay, so it gives us this. Doesn't give us a full completion. I reckon that has to do with the tokens. So if we just say how do we get the text back? I don't think that's working for us. It's codex models. I don't really want codex models. I wonder if we can give it more choices. Let's go try and run that and see if it makes any difference. I don't expect. Okay, it ran without a problem, but if I then updated that, is that going to give us more stuff? No, it didn't change that. But I also say is that going to be 5? Will be, but or all 5's the same. Okay. Let's just go for a quick loop. And let's just iterate over that. Right. So it's generating the same, but I reckon it's not got enough tokens to respond back. How do I get it to respond back? Allow the user anything in this which tells us how we can. So we use the chat completion, it works because it just streams that chat data back to us, but the GPT-4 model doesn't want to do that. this will give it. This will give us kind of quick, short answers. Let's see if there's anything here. Okay. And this is the .NET SDK. I don't think this is giving us what we want. Still think. And is it operated? So what is it returning us? The response is completion. I don't think that gave me what I wanted. Saying AC page form. I wonder if what would it give me if I did a var here? Let's see a var. What would that give me instead? Just give me a second, everyone. Oh, I had a very important question about going to Supernova tomorrow where she wanted something signed, which should be cool. Alrighty.
It is important, people.
Wife says it is important. Alrighty. Where are we going from here? So we're doing a var response, and it's just giving me response completions again. What other options do I have from the client? So let's get completions. I wonder if I can do the completion streaming. There we go. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to stream the completions back. And put this. We'll do an async on that. Alright, and then we go using. Let's just go back. How did we do that with the other streaming one? So we did a using streaming completions equals response dot value. Yep, so that's the streaming completions there, and then we wait for each completion. Each completion. Here's the streaming choice. And then we don't need a for each on that, but then it's a console. I'm not sure if that's going to work actually. Let's give it a run, see what it does. Okay, not quite what I was up to then. Is this an array or? Wait, and wait for each. Maybe to write text, and then we'll console right line here. Right, let's see if that works. Not quite. And we got a response, but don't think that's what we wanted. Yeah, I'm not sure we're getting the actual data out that we want to get out here. So we get the choices, streaming choices. And then we get, from the choice we get the text. And just stop. Yeah, I'm not sure what is going on here. Let's have a look at some of the samples and see if we can gauge from any of these samples if there's a good way of actually streaming out. Yeah, it's like, it's fine for doing little small things, but if we want larger, this is putting the token size pretty small. We want a bit of a larger section that we can actually work with here. But how are we doing this? Look at here. What's the max requested tokens is 4,000. Yeah, we don't have access to these ones as of yet. Should maybe be using. I can get it out of this one. I can do that out of that. Why can't I use the other one? Alright, so let's go get rid of those models because we don't need. These ones are not. Well, it's not ChatGPT 4, which was initially my assumption, which was a bad assumption. That's okay. We'll just stick with GPT 3. So we know we can get a summarization from that. So cool. Alright. Alright, let's stick with that. Let's pivot this one to our different project. So we're gonna new, call it Maze Runner. Dash. There we go. GPT Maze Runner. Alrighty. So let's just close all of this stuff. Let's go and reset OmniSharp to use this project instead. It's good. Just gonna add everything with Git. Let's do that. It's fine. Alright. So, we need to generate a maze. Now, I got kind of stuck in the weeds on this the last time I did it. So, don't want to get too stuck on this time. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to set up something pretty simple here. 32 by 32 space, and then we're going to say max room is equal to, let's say, 10, and then we're going to create then let's create a class called room. To say int x int y so key right, and then we'll need a we want int array public string exits, and it doesn't. There we go. Okay, so we got that. Max room is equal 10, and then we'll say list rooms list. It's fine. Okay. Notice that Copilot has not been very useful tonight. It's just been very quiet. That's alright. Alright. So we've got our room of list of rooms we now have. We have a grid of 32 by 32 and we know we want 10 rooms. So for each. So for 0, let's list max rooms. And then okay, we're gonna go new room. That's fine. And then we will say on the new room x is equal to ran. I need to generate the random up here. Do that, and random next. And then next is between 0 and x. Y. Alright, so I'm going to generate a bunch of rooms with random XY coordinates. Cool. And what we're going to do is we're going to say that any room that shares the same. Well, first of all, we're going to we want to look for in rooms. What we want to do is we want to make sure that no room has that X coordinate. We should actually do that on creation. So we should just be calling this int Rx. Okay. And then we want to make sure that there's no room that has that. Now, I could do something like a hash here or something, or where I store the key as the XY coordinate and then just check that, but and that would make sure that no two rooms are the same. Yeah, but I don't really. That's what we'll go for each. That's what so I'm going to do if dot x x so this is just gonna do that, and then we say overlap true, and then we will do overlap, we decrement I. Thank you for the follow. Yep, so I just made my screen really small when I go to Giuseppetiro. I think it's Giuseppetiro. Yep, thank you for the follow. Alright, so we're checking if the overlap is correct. If there is an overlap, we decrement I and then we don't add it to the list. But if else, we add a new room. Okay, so that's fine. That should work. So we're checking for the overlap. If it's overlap, decrement, rerun through, it'll continue. I mean, there's a very small chance that we overlap every single room every time and then it runs forever. I don't think I'm not going to deal with that edge case. That's fine. Okay, so that generates us a list of our rooms. That's fine. Now what we want to do is we want to find every room that has an exit to the, so kind of along the X coordinate. So we go 0 less than X. So again, I could use an array here, but I'm just going to do that this way, and we're going to go H in rooms, room R. So I'm going to create a sublist. So I'm going to create a room, current room. It doesn't like null. That's alright. So we're going to grab the current room. No, that's gonna get messy fast. Let's see. So we want to find all the rooms that share an X coordinate. Because they're essentially going to be then... Yeah, no, we can do that. So let's make list of room rooms here list. Right. And then if the X is equal, then we go selected rooms, add. Alright. So that gives us a list of rooms that share. Then we want to order that. And we're going to order it by discard. Not discard. Order it by Y. Why you see that? I don't know. That was just a random thing I put. So that should order the rooms by Y. And then if we... So think about that. So we know they're in line this way. And then we're... Well, so if it's an X, they're going... So if we go X being so up and down, let me draw this, ignore that, and then Y going across. So we have a room here and a room. So we have a room there, and then we have a room here. Alright, so in that case we would have X would be equal to 1 for both, and then Y would be equal to 1 and then 3. Okay, that's fine. So then we're saying that this room would connect to the next room in the list, and then so on and so forth. So then we should just be able to we're just going to iterate again over count. It's not I, it's J. J is less than. Minus one, because we're going to access the. Okay. Now, so we're going to have room 1 is equal to J. Room 2 is J plus 1. Don't think we need minus 1 there actually. Or we might need minus 2 actually, because we want to stop it from going. Yeah, we might need minus 2. I'll have to check that one. Okay, so we've got our room, and then we've got our selected room plus 1. And then we're going to set. We actually need something here that's a bit. That ties the rooms together. Okay. So we don't just want a string. Let's go and do a public class. Call it room link. And it's going to have like source room. So public room source. Public room destination. And then string direction. Okay, and then what we're going to have is we're going to have a room link array. And again, no, we want a list. Room and links. Okay. Yeah, okay, we can deal with nulls, that's fine. Alright. So we know this, so we can go room link is equal to new link, and then link dot source equal to room 1 dot destination is equal to room 2 dot direction. What is the direction here? So doing X is vertical, and then this is going west to east. So this is east. Goes east, and then this is so link source to dest. So we're doing a source to destination link here. So we have to do the inverse as well. Okay. So go room link dest to source. What we'll do here too is we will say room 1 dot room links dot add link. Alright, so that's adding that to that, and then we do this one here. We say link this to source equal to room 2. Copilot does not want to work tonight. Maybe an easy one for Copilot, but oh well. Going without a Copilot. Right, and then direction equal to west. Alright. That should be okay. Right, west to east connections. Okay. So that's for everything that shares the same X. So we're going right across. Okay. Then we just need to do this, except for the Y. That. Right, we're doing this for the Y direction now, so. Right, and then we're sorting it by X, and then this will be going south to north as far as this is concerned. So the exit direction from room 1 as X is increasing is north, and then is south. Alright, so that should then give us a set of rooms with a set of links. Alright, what we might do is we might sanity check this. Done a bit of code here without testing anything yet, so lots of things could fall over. So what I want to do then is let's just do a quick for each room. I'm gonna get all the rooms. Get all the rooms, and we're just gonna print them out. So we're gonna say, hold up, right line X, and then this will be room dot X, Y, room dot Y, X. So that'll use the XY, and then we'll go console dot right line links. That's fine. I could mostly string format this all rather than just running it out to start with, but that's alright. Should be fine. So tab, and then we will do what you need to do for each. Dot links. Didn't really give these an easy name, did we? Let's do direction. We'll just say what the directions are. Alright. Can we build? Alright, it's giving us some warnings about non-nullables. That's fine. Let's see if it does its thing. Boom. Well, got a whole lot of zeros here. That's not particularly useful. What have I done there? Ah. It helps if you add those to the room, yeah? New room. No, that's fine. I think it's done at least that one, but it's that surprised that didn't melt down on us. All right. Let's try that again. This time we should get. We haven't got any links. We do have links, just isn't formatted correctly. No, we don't have any links. Why do we not have any links? Did we just end up in a situation where everything is too big? We don't have enough rooms. Maybe. Just realizing that yeah, that makes sense. We have too many links. 32 by 32 grid. We're only generating 10 rooms. Let's change it to like 25 rooms. See if that's a more reasonable. Oh, we have some links here. Alright, what I'm gonna do. Okay. What is our maximum number of rooms? 32 times. So 1,000. I'm gonna make 100 rooms, and then after all of the links done, I'm going to purge. Let's do it after. I'm gonna purge all rooms that don't have a link. Oh, just realized I've done that inside the while loop. That's not useful. So let's do so just do it in that output one. So say not equal to 0. Sure, shoot for some DevOps advice. Links is greater than 1. Print that out. Alright, so now we have all of our rooms that have links. Sure. And then what I might do is actually purge any room that doesn't have a link. For back-end tech interviews, so it depends on what kind of back-end tech you're looking for. If it is like a DevOps role, then they will definitely ask you for some cloud infrastructure, especially things like infrastructure as code. They'll definitely ask for it. If it's just kind of a back-end code, like a back-end programming job, they may not ask you about. They may not ask if you know about cloud infrastructure. And to be aware of it, but they may not ask you for specific detail. But I mean, it's always good to know a little bit, so just it kind of depends on where the role that you're applying for is landing. But I'm always for more knowledge is power here. So if you're interested, have a look at kind of infrastructure as code. Have a look at Terraform is one of the kind of most broad ways of doing that. So that will give you a whole heap of things. So you know you've worked as a DevOps engineer for 6 months, and then you want to, so you know how to spin up a Docker container and deploy it. I definitely do a bit of research. So my background's Azure, so for me, Microsoft Azure, I've done a lot of work in there, but it doesn't hurt to at least have some knowledge of the 3 main cloud providers. So Microsoft Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud Platform, or GCP. I think if you're going for a kind of that entry level role, having an awareness of it is the best place. So you don't have to kind of know, well, how would I deploy XYZ, but saying, oh, okay, I know Amazon has kind of Lambdas, which are these function apps, so kind of like small apps that are functional, and then Azure has Azure Functions, which are kind of the same thing. Or you've got App Service, so just a way to run apps in Azure. I'm not sure of the AWS one on that. And that's the other thing too. Also, if you're applying for a role which has a very strict kind of we're a Microsoft Azure shop or we're an AWS shop, it might help just to brush up on kind of what the main kind of app, like the main systems are in that. So with Azure, that's kind of Azure App Service, that's Azure Container Instances, Container Apps, maybe a little bit Kubernetes, but don't stress about going too heavy in detail if it's very much an entry-level job. Just having a broad awareness is really good. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, so if you're doing a lot of back-end development point of view, then what I'd say that would be most important, so yeah, learn your language. So if you're doing Java Spring Boot, definitely learn that. Learn how to write APIs. Get a good knowledge on REST, so you kind of understand how APIs communicate. I think Java should have a gRPC type thing. If they ask you a cloud question and it's definitely a back-end development role, then just say you have an awareness. You're like, yeah, sure, I know of the cloud and I know it can do things. The core of really what they'll be interested in is, can you make APIs? Can you get APIs to talk to each other? Can you code what they need coded in the back end to kind of like asynchronous coding? Definitely look that up. So you'll need to know a lot about kind of how you do an asynchronous call to an API, how you get responses back. Distributed computing is another one, but again, depends on the level at which you're going for. That's getting a bit more advanced in the system design and how do you make large-scale networks, or large-scale applications across networks. So, but yeah, stick with, learn the language, get confident making APIs, understand your build systems, especially for Java. So, app traffic overload, scale the application. Yeah, so in that case, yeah, you want to say, okay, you understand one app can't handle everything. How would you scale that out? So if you have maybe talking about load balancers, you say, okay, I understand the load balancer is needed, and then here's how these applications would talk to, say, a shared database. Or you might need to look at things like message queues. How do you distribute messages across multiple microservices? So cool, hopefully that helps. Alright, where was I? So I'm going to now wonder if this is going to get upset with me because I'm modifying a list while I'm accessing it. Well, the only way to know if it's going to be a problem is to run it. See what it breaks. Yep, unhandled exception. Collection was modified. Yeah. Alright. What we'll have to do is we'll have to make a new list. say list of room, and we'll call this connected rooms. It gives me a list room. Okay, and then so we do those, and then we'll go connected rooms, add, and then we will say room. Cool, so that should give us a list of all our connected rooms. Okay. And then we're going to place the key. So let's see how this goes. So the int key room is equal to random dot next, and then int true. Connected rooms dot count. Yeah, so we call that that one's vertical scaling. That's where you scale the machine. What they'll mostly ask you about is horizontal scaling. So how would we take this app and scale it into multiple instances of the app running, but then keep the consistency across the app? So if you had two apps running and they both receive different data, how do you ensure that when they're queried back they have the same data? So this could be using shared databases. There could be some kind of syncing model where message queues are used to sync data between two instances of an application. That's the kind of stuff that you might want to do some reading on. Alright. True. Right, so definitely. As someone who's tried to do take a system that has been a big monolith that's been stuck in one big system for a long time, and tried to split into microservices as part of a small team, it's very hard. There's a lot of work. A lot of people underestimate how much work is involved in really splitting a system into microservices in a way that is not going to cause more problems later. So definitely more engineers. Also, settle on your designs kind of early, but don't be afraid to change them if things aren't working. You don't want to kind of have that rigid thinking where, oh, this is the way we're going to do it and we're going to stick to it till the end, because then you'll just end up in a system that's going to break all over the place. Okay, so this gives us our room. So we have the key, the treasure. Alright. So, have our application, we have created our connected rooms in a maze. Every room is connected in some way. And then we now just need to create a system for actually getting a user, or in this case the AI, to connect in and to try and traverse the maze. So let's try and do it for a person first. So let's say bool found key. And it's kind of this kind of programming I'm doing is almost functional programming. I'm just kind of going straight down and not creating a ton of classes. I'm not kind of spinning up like having a background process or anything like that. So this is one of the things I really like about the current way that C# being done, is that I can just code like Python almost and just start coding straight down. It's really good. Cool. So give me a second, everyone. And I'm back. Alrighty. So, now let's we'll say okay. So now I'm going to just do a loop, and we'll do a while loop. While found treasure false. I can't type now. So while that treasure is false, we're going to start to do things. We need another starting room is equal to okay. Alright. Let's do that outside of the loop. We don't want to set that every time we loop around. Alright, so that's the current starting room. Cool. So we go console right line. Coordinates. Right, so that gives us our current coordinates. Exits. So I want to build. So I have to build that string. So. String. Link dot. Alright. So that should give us that. Okay. So we should be able to do that. My wife is yelling at Google. Alright. Give me a sec, I need to go save my wife from the Google that's not listening to her. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, back. Google Home System has decided it doesn't want to work with timers tonight. Oh well. Okay, let's get this done. So, got our current coordinates, bump, 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 and then. So, right. So choose our direction. Oop. We'll say okay. Just want to see if this works first before I continue. Okay. It's saying we're at 12:11. But it didn't give me the exits because I didn't write them out. Helps if you write out the thing you're doing. Here. So this is why we test often to make sure our things do the things we want. So we've got an exit of east. Okay, cool. That's just going to repeat. All right. Okay. So we're going to say we'll go to a switch statement. Can I remember how to do a switch statement? The answer is no. Okay, let's snippet should help. So switch on say east. And then we're going to room dot east. How to do this as shall going to do not an if go exit room equals, and we're going to say current room links where dot action east. No. Then. Okay. Right. Just say exit link, and exit link dot this. First to default. Make sure we're accepting that. And destination. Okay. It's still complaining about. No. Have I completely forgotten how to do... Okay, fine. Nested if statement it is. Alright. Then we just repeat this for each direction. Not the greatest, but there you go. May have copied and pasted it too many times, but west. South. And then finally north. Of course it's going to require the user to exactly type these, but the user is me, so that's fine for this case. Alright. Let's see if this works. Alright. If I choose east. Why do I have capitalization there where I should not? Because apparently I have put capitalizations there. This is why you don't use strings when you do this kind of thing. Alright, and I also think that... Oh no, it should reset the exit every time we loop. That should be fine. We say east. Okay, something didn't work there. Because now we have one that doesn't connect. That's interesting. Why do we have a room with no exits? We shouldn't have a room with no exits. Let's just check the equal to 1 here. So front room's the only thing outside that should be. What we should maybe do is do connected room get. To do X to R. Stop making it random. X to is that going to be first? Make sure we're selecting it from that list. Now it's going to give me a warning. Say possibly no. It's fine. Oh, it'll be fine. Should now just be able to use this. So, as ugly as this is, I will be giving this a refactor later on to clean up some of this ugliness, because it's pretty ugly. Alright. Alright. Unhandled exception. Why is it doing that one? Object number 121. How was that set to null? Well, I think that's going to be a mystery for later, but this was a good start. At least I got the rooms generating this time. Now it's just about making sure they all connect up and making sure we can navigate through them. So, because we can do it, then we should then give it to the API and let the API do that. So, what I'll do is I will... got a bit confused there. It is unhappy with me at the moment. Alright. Don't know what's going on with that, but I will sort that out later. Apparently I have now lost the ability to type in my terminal. So what I'll do is I will code. I'll commit that. I will go and is this going to let me do this? Okay. Yes. And we'll do this just as public repository up there. So I'll just push this to GitHub. Let's give that a second. Okay. We'll show more repositories. Right. There is all the terrible code I have written tonight. We will be fixing this all up later. I'm not going to leave it this way, but I will again leave that to a stream. There will be no stream Monday night. I have a prior engagement Monday night which has come up, but I am planning to do a stream on Tuesday. Tuesday is a public holiday here, so I might stream during the day. On that I'll just see how I'm going. If not, I might stream Tuesday night. So I hope everyone has a great evening and a great weekend, and I will catch you all next time.